So yesterday we have covered all these parts. This is the second part of the demography lecture. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. So yesterday we have seen the literacy rate, and that is the person who can read, write, and able to understand. And there are two ways how to calculate this literacy rate. So one is a crude way, that is called as a crude literacy rate. Another is the effective literacy rate. So anyway, yesterday also we've done with the same discussion. So crude literacy rate is indicated by the formula number of literate persons, that is who can read and write, and divided by the total number of population. So there is no age limit, there is no sex consideration here. It is total population, like it includes from 0 to 100 years of age. But the problem with this that the literate person cannot be at the age of 0 years or just above that also. So it has been identified that people who are above 7 years of age, that is formally when the schooling begins, so usually they can read and write and they will be able to understand. So the effective literacy rate formula is number of literate persons aged above 7 years divided by the population who are aged above 7 years in the given year, and the multiplier is 100. So here 7 is a cutoff number for the effective literacy rate. Then life expectancy, like overall life expectancy of the India as per 2011 census is 68 years. It is 68 years. Then family size already we have discussed yesterday. This is just a revision. So it is nothing but the number of children. It doesn't include any adults or geriatric people. Only the number of children that is counted for family size in India at present. That is per family or per house there are nearly two children or three children. 2.3 means an average of two children or three children will be there. So that is the current family size status of the India, and it is generally measured by the TFR, that is the total fertility rate. What is total fertility rate, students?
Ma'am,
Yeah, tell me, Roshan.
ma'am, total number of live
Gayatri?
children born to women in her entire reproductive period.
Yeah, so if this is a female, so during her reproductive age, that is 15 to 45 years, so during her entire reproductive age, how many children she bears? Number of children. So let those children be boys or girls. That is not the issue, male or female. That is not the issue for us. So total fertility rate is, it is a synthetic number. That is like we calculate it by using some age specified formulas. So it is just like totally denotes that how many children that woman bears during her reproductive span. So that is a total fertility rate. And at present, the India's total fertility rate is 2.3. That means what? One female, on an average, she bears either two children or three children. So that is the total fertility rate. Then what is the current our goal, the Indian goal, or the WHO World Health Organization recommended goal of TFR? Jayashree and others, Akarsh, what is the current goal? Prabhakar, that is 2.1. So globally, it has been said that, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So you need to remember this number. So currently, the world is saying that the total fertility rate, the each nation should achieve at least 2.1. So 2.1 means what? Each female will have at least two children, and out of these two children, assumption is that one boy and one girl will be there, so that it will what contribute to the replacement levels. That means if one female is there, so mother is there, she should give birth to at least one female child during her reproductive age, so that this female child will carry the work of carrying the future children. So if this female mother doesn't have any daughters, then who will reproduce her genetic contribution to the next generation if there are no females? So that will be the issue. So the current goal is that every woman should have at least minimum two children, and the nature itself will take care that in that two, one boy and one girl, usually the distribution will be there. So what is the recommended TFR? It is 2.1. Yes. And as per the present data, the India, we have just come to this 2.2. We are nearing this 2.1 goal of WHO. So we need to take care of the effective family control measures so that we can reach this the number of 2.1. Now density of the population. So if you slides are visible for you,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So if you see the population density, so gradually from 1901 till the current year 2011, so there is a increase in the population density. So at present the population density is 382. So can you all see this bottommost thing or it is not visible?
Slightly visible.
It's slightly visible. So remember that as per the current census, it is how much? 382 people are living per square kilometer. So if you take an area in terms of square kilometer, so in this square kilometer of area in India, approximately 382 people are present. Then what about the sex ratio in India? So it is like for the past 3 decades, that is from 91, 2001 and 2011, this sex ratio has been kept on increasing. So
Increase.
1991 it was 927, then it improved that it has become to 933, and now in 2011 census it is 940. So we need to get the sex ratio of what? 1 is to 1. That is
Yes,
what?
ma'am.
Out of every 1,000 male, 1,000 female should be there. It should be barabar, equal should be there. So this 1 is to 1 ratio is called as what, students? Biological sex ratio. It is called as biological sex ratio. So now ideally at present the Indian current sex ratio is 943. This value is as per the census of India. Yes. So as per 2011 census, there are 943 females out of 1,000 males. So this is a current sex ratio. This indicates that our sex ratio is not favorable. It is not favorable. That means more number of females or female child, like they have been killed or female feticide or infanticide. So this is what is the situation. It is reflected in India. If the number reduces, so our intention is what, to improve this number.
Yes, ma'am.
And population wise, if you see the density, like per square kilometer, Delhi is the highest. So if at all a question is asked which is the highest in terms of population density, it is Delhi, and it is followed by Chandigarh, and then followed by the Bihar. But if you Bihar is like, if at all states, if they ask, it is Bihar. And lowest population density is
Arunachal
with
Pradesh.
respect to Arunachal Pradesh. So this particular table shows the sex ratio. So remember this, because in one of the NEET entrance exam, they have asked what is the sex ratio of India as per 2011 census. So it is 943. This number you have to remember. So can you see the improvement in 2001 census over a decade? That is over a span of 10 years. So there is a how much? There is a nearly 10 plus 10. So 933 has increased to 943. So there is an improvement over there. So we need
Yes,
to improve this in the next upcoming census in the 2021. So again next year the census will be taken. Now tops states with the what sex ratio? Kerala, the sex ratio is highest, which is 1084, followed by Tamil Nadu, and the states with the lowest sex ratio, that is Haryana, which is only 879. So this point you have to remember. So highest, lowest values. So always a comparison will be made among these two. So remember these two. First is Kerala, and the lowest or the worst is Haryana. So it says that their female children care is not taken much, lot of feticide or infanticide. So all these activities are happening over there. And one more thing you have to remember is girl child missing. Have you heard about this? Girl child missing. What is this girl child missing? Students?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
ma'am.
girl child missing means I'll just tell you this thing. So look at this child sex ratio. That means what? How many females are present out of how many males? That is out of 1,000 males, how many 1,000 females according to the age, in the age group of 0 to 6 years. Okay. Now what the government has done? So they have counted the female children and the male children in the age of 0 to 6 years, and these same people they have been followed up, and again after some years, then again these small babies they will grow up, right? So this 6 year child will come to after 10 years they may become 16 years. Now when they recheck the same thing, 16 years old boy or girl, So they found that the numbers are not same. Maybe here it is 919 and here it has come to 800. That means what? The same children, when they grow up, the female child, that number is not maintained. Our assumption is that if there are 919 females, the same female babies, they should grow up to their adult stage of life, and the same number has to be maintained, right? Are you all clear within a concept? Now the thing is that this number has reduced. That means where are the rest of the females? There are some 119 of the females, they are missing. So this is called as female missing proportion. Because of child trafficking and many other illegal activities, what is happening in between, the child or the female is killed, or some other illegal activities are happening. Because of this female child is missing from the population, so which is not a good indicator. So our government need to furthermore what restructure this Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao program, and many other newer initiatives, and strict legal actions has to be taken. So this is the reason why we take into count child sex ratio and the sex ratio and a comparison, which will help us to analyze the child female missing proportion also, apart from any other information. Are you all clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
going just a bit fast because many other things to cover over here. Fine, just remember that child sex ratio of India as per 2011 census is 919. Next, states with the highest child sex ratio is Chhattisgarh, which is 969, and the state with the lowest child sex ratio is Haryana, which is 834. So, same MCQ I have discussed for you yesterday also. Should I discuss or should I go ahead, students?
Skip, ma'am.
Okay, I'll skip this. Fine. So, from now onwards, this particular pyramid I should start. So, this is what is this? It is a population pyramid.
Yes,
Yes. Can you just switch off your microphone? It's causing a little bit disturbance here. Yeah, thank you. So population pyramid. So it is what? It is a age. This is a age and sex distribution of the population. So it is a what is this? It is a histogram. It is a histogram. Histogram means what? These are the bars. Okay, these bars, and there is no space between the I mean two bars. That means it is a continuous data. So here females are represented on the right side. So in this diagram, the females are presented on the right side and the males are presented on the left side. And in between, that is on the y-axis, the age categorization. That is 0 to 4, 5 to 9. So age distribution will be there. And on the x-axis, it is the like number of people they are present, the count, the population count. Now, when you try to plot, like in this particular age group, how many people are there? So 0 to 4 years, 5 to 9 years. So when we try to plot for each country, so we will get one particular shape. So if you just generally look at this shape, it looks like what? The shape of a pyramid. Yes. So the shape of the Indian population distribution is what? It is a shape of a pyramid, right?
yes, ma'am.
Students, do you all agree with me? Jayashree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what points you want to look into this population pyramid? So, in the population pyramid, we need to look for the shape of the pyramid. So, what is the shape of this population pattern? Then, what is the size or the symmetry? So, shape, symmetry. Then, after that, the span. Span means what? The length of the pyramid, right? Now, look at the shape. So, what is the shape? So, for example, if the shape is something like this, so can you see here?
Bird.
It is little bit asymmetrical. Look at this particular diagram which I drawn here. So here, for example, males are present and this is a females. So that means what? The female population is more and males population it is less. So the symmetry of this particular what pyramid or the population diagram, it indicates what? The symmetry indicates the sex distribution of the population. Sex distribution. Now in India, if we try to see this, how does it may look? It may look somewhat like this. So in India, what is the thing? So usually on the right side females are taken and left side males are taken. So it is little bit skewed here. That means what? The females are comparatively less in number as compared to that of the males. So it is little bit asymmetric. Yes. Do you all agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Then after that, what is the shape? So if you see the shape, how it is, the bottom part of this pyramid, it represents what? Pre-reproductive age group. We let us divide this pyramid into three age groups. So generally it is pre-reproductive age group, that is the children. So pre-reproductive, that is 0 to 14 years. Then 15 to 45 years, they are the reproductive age group. Then anybody who are above this 46 above or something, they are called as the older people or the geriatric people. So that is pre-reproductive age group, reproductive age group, and post-reproductive age group. So these are the three age groups we generally divide this population into. So when we see our Indian situation, the children count is very high, right? The pre-reproductive age is very high. That is base of the pyramid is broad. It is very much broad. And as we go up, that is the reproductive age group, it is little bit less. So that means what? So it is somewhat narrower over here. But when we reach the tip of the pyramid, can you see here? It is furthermore narrowest here. That means the
Yes.
older people population is furthermore less. So this indicates what? The geriatric people or post reproductive age group people are very less in number. This is the scenario in case of the developing country like India. Now, when we
Yes.
compare the same thing in case of a advanced or the developed country, how does it look? So it will be somewhat like this. In advanced countries, what will happen? See, the base it will be somewhat convex. That is, child population will be little bit less as compared to that of the developing country. So look at the developing country. The base is very much broad. That means what? Lot of children are there. This indicates what? The population explosion. Then when you come to this middle portion, little bit bulge is there. That means some amount of reproductive age group are in adequate number. Then after that, look at the adult population. Again, it is broad over here. Tip is broad. Whereas in developing countries like India, the tip is very narrow. That is what people who are above 60 years, they are quite a few in what developing countries as compared to that of the developed countries. So this difference you need to know. So in your examination NEET question, they may give either this picture or this picture, and they may ask you some questions related to that, like the base is broad or there is a convex or concave. See, look at here. If there is a convex border, then definitely it is a population structure of a developed country. If there
Yes,
is a
ma'am.
concave, look at this concavity. So if there is a concavity, then it indicates that this particular thing representing the developing country. So look at the picture and try to understand that any questions you have to attempt them correctly. Next is dependency ratio. What do you mean by dependency ratio, students?
Dependency ratio is that uh, non-earning by earning, ma'am.
Excellent. So how many non-earning people are dependent on the earning people? So that is a dependency ratio. Usually it is assumed that people who are between 0 to 14 years. Just a second. Hello, Smriti. So it is assumed that people who are between 0 to 14 years, they can't earn. They are children actually. So they are considered as non-earning people. And people who are above 65 years, they are too old to earn. So again, they are considered as what? Non-earning people. So who are the earning category over here? So who are between 15 to 64 years. So who are between 15 to 64 years, they are considered to be what? No, earning population of the country. So how many these non-earning people are dependent on this earning people? That tells about the dependency ratio. Prabhakar, clear? Am I
Yes,
audible?
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
fine. So now the dependency ratio is given by the formula. So dependency ratio equal to, it is people who are 0 to 14 years, less than 0 to 14 years, plus who are above 65 years, divided by who are between 15 to 64 years. That is non-earning divided by the earning population, nothing but the dependency ratio. And the multiplier is what? It is 100. So just remember these facts. It has been observed that in India, there are this much of population who are between 0 to 14 years, and who are above 65 years is, this is the amount of population. and who are between 15 to 64 years, they contribute to this much of population. And when they like substituted all these values in the formula, then overall in India it was observed that 61% of the people there, that is non-earning people, are dependent on the earning people. This is what is the interpretation. So in India, nearly 61% of the people are dependent people. This is a very huge number. So which is not like acceptable. So we need to reduce this dependency ratio. Yes. What
Yes,
is
ma'am.
dependency or demographic burden? What do you mean by demographic burden? So it is nothing but if the people, older people number increases, then what happens? The burden will increase. The burden will increase. So that we call it as what? Demographic burden. If the child people, if the number of children reduces, then again we call it as what? Demographic gift. This point you have to remember, because if the number of children are reduced, then what happens? The family has not to take care much of them, so the family burden will be reduced. But if the old age people will increase, then again burden will be more. Now look at this question. One of the entrance exam in the AP entrance exam, it was asked potential support ratio, that is PSR, is defined as. What is this potential support ratio? Just look at the options over here. Try to answer this. Anybody? I will only tell. Should I tell you this answer? Akash? Okay. I'll just give you
Ma'am,
the concept.
D,
Yeah, tell Roshan.
D.
Not D. It is wrong. Just listen to the concept here. It is like per old person. Remember this. Per one old person. Okay, this is a old person. That means what? Who is above 65 years? How many younger people are there? Like how many people who are between 15 to 65 or 64 years? So per old person, how many earning people are there? So that is nothing but the potential support ratio. In some advanced countries they use this particular term PSR. Yes, that means what? Per one old person, how many younger person is taking care? That is the potential support ratio. Now just look at the options over here. Number of persons aged 15 to 65 per children below 15 years. So this is something irrelevant if you know the concept of potential support ratio. No. Then second option is number of person aged between 15 to 65 per one older person aged more than or equal to 65 years. Do you agree with this? If you know the concept, you can attempt this. See, number of persons aged between 15 to 65. That means what? These are the people who are earning, who are above 15 years and who are below 65 years. They are the earning people. So, per one older person. So, one older person is always taken care of by one earning person. So, that is what is the concept of this potential support ratio. Remember this. So, just we'll put this B option into a positive mark as I'm assuming that it might be correct. Then third option, look at here, number of person aged 15 to 65 per one older person aged more and younger person less than 15 years. So this is not the option over here. So it is little bit clumsier over here. Then fourth option, number of person aged 15 to 65 person, older person aged above 60 years and younger person below 15 years. So these are little bit tricky questions to understand. So if you know the concept, the thing is that B is the right option because he is saying that per one old person who is above 65 years, how many people between 15 to 65% are there? They are the earning people and these are the non-earning people. So it is nothing but the dependency ratio or the potential support ratio. How many people are supporting actually? Clear? Concept is clear here,
Yes, ma'am.
students? Fine. Now we will just see the population growth of the India, like annual or the exponential growth percentage of the India. So in 1901 till 2011, how much the population is growing. So if you see there was a increase in the population growth gradually, then again there has been fall compared to the previous 2001 census. So at present in the 2011 census, it has been observed that the India's population is growing at a rate of 1.64%. This you have to remember. Hope you remember the yesterday's formula for population doubling rate. So what is the formula for that?
70, 70 by
70 divided by the R. So what is this R? R is nothing but the growth, population growth rate. So in our country, denominator will be how much?
1.4.
1.64. So whatever the value you get, so that number indicates that our population will double in that amount of year. So that is a population doubling time. For that, you need to know this, what annual growth rate. And how to calculate this annual growth rate? The formula is, what is the formula for growth rate? Crude birth rate minus
Minus
crude
crude
death
death
rate
divided
divided
by
by 10. If you know this, then you can calculate this annual growth rate. Anyway, it was discussed yesterday itself. Now, if you see, our India stands in which stage? Based on the percentage of the annual population growth, it has been categorized into different levels. Stationary population, that means there is no growth only. Then slow growth means anything less than 0.5 percentage of growth per year. Then moderate growth means 0.5 to 1. Rapid growth means 1 to 1.5. Very rapid means 1.5 to 2. And explosive growth, that is an explosion. I think yesterday already I cleared the concept of population explosion, which is linked to the carrier capacity. So explosion growth means anything if the population decadal growth, if it is more than 2, then we say that it is an explosive growth. Now India stands in which stage, students? If you
very rapid.
remember, yeah,
Rapid growth.
very rapid growth. So again, MCQ has been asked with regard to this particular concept. So as per 2011 census, India falls under very rapid growth stage. And in this rapid growth stage, so the population of India, whichever is there currently 121 crores, it will double within how many years, students? Within 47 or 35 to 47 years, our population will double. Yes, clear with the concept. So these are the linked questions, and again MCQs has been asked on this particular aspect. Now let us try to solve some of the questions related to population doubling rate. So some question is like, say, in one particular town, the birth rate is how much? 12 per thousand, and death rate is 9 per thousand. Now how to calculate this population growth rate? All of you take a pen and paper, just try to solve this. So we already know that crude birth rate, it is 12. And what is the death rate? Crude death rate, it is 9 per thousand. That is 12 minus 9. And denominator is 10. So when you substitute all these values, then you will get 3 by 10. So which is 0.3%. So this population growth is how much in this particular town or whatever the city which is in consideration, it is growing at a rate of 0.3 percentage. So in your examination, some questions can be asked this way. So anyway, this was discussed yesterday itself, the doubling rate. So they may give that how much time it will take to double for this population. So already we know that current growth rate is zero point 0.3 from the previous question. So just try to substitute the value 70 divided by zero point 0.3. So the end result will be 230. So that means what? Within 230 years, this particular population, which was 1,50,000, it will get doubled. That is, it will come to 3 lakhs. Now, same one more question. See, one place and its population growth rate is 5%. And what is the doubling time? So again, 70 divided by R is a formula for this doubling time. So R is nothing but here that is a doubling rate, that is 5%. Now just substitute this, so it will become 70 by 5. So it is nothing but 14. So when you calculate this, so it will come up to 14. That means what? This particular place population, it will double within 14 years. So these are the similar type of questions over here. So it is like why I'm trying to show you all these questions. Like you may be asked this pattern of question also. In 2010, the crude birth rate. in this particular town was 25 and the death rate was 11, and if the population was 15,000 in 2010 and the population growth rate remains constant, will the population reach 30,000? When will the population will reach 30,000? That means what? 15,000, and when it will become double. So double of 15,000 is nothing but 30,000. So he is asking at what time it will get double. Now we need to calculate in this way, because like first we need to calculate the growth rate, then based on the growth rate we can calculate the doubling time. So how to calculate the growth rate? First we need to find out the what birth rate, which is mentioned as 25, and the death rate was 11 divided by 10. So when we do this, then we will get growth rate as 1.4%. Now this will be our R value. Now apply this R value in this population doubling formula, that is 70 by R, that is 70 divided by 1.4. So you will get 50 years. That means what? At present it is 2010. And now add 50 years to this, then it will become 2060. This means what? In the year 2060, this particular town population will be double. That is, it will become 30,000. Are you all clear with the concept here?
Yes, ma'am.
So the question may be asked in a different way. They may not give you this growth rate. So you will only have to calculate the growth rate, then you have to find out the doubling rate. Now let us see the another question. So it is another pattern of question. Prabhakar, Jayashree and others, Smriti, Akarsh,
Yes,
are you all
ma'am.
getting here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, one more different way of asking the question. In this question, this fellow has said that in 2010, the birth rate is 7.2 percentage. Look at here. This fellow said that instead of saying birth rate is 70 or 100, he is saying directly in terms of percentage. And death rate is in 2.2 percentage. So it is again said in percentage. And if the birth and death rate remains constant, in what year will the population will be close to 40 million? So something he is like asking in how many years this 10 million population will become 40 million. So now we know crude birth rate, crude death rate. Now here formula will little bit change. Remember students, if the birth rate and death rate is given in percentage, then our growth rate formula, what is the growth rate formula? Crude death rate, birth rate minus crude death rate, right? Divided by 10. But if it is in percentage, if the birth rate, death rate values are given in percentage, then the formula will differ now. Instead of denominator as 10, we will just eliminate that 10. The formula will become crude birth rate minus crude death rate. No need of keeping the denominator of 10. This point you have to remember. Now, let us solve this question. So now we know it is in percentage. So the formula will be like this, where there won't be any denominator. So 7.2 is our birth rate and 2.5 is the death rate. So when you minus these two percentage values, you will get what, students? 5%. Yes. So 5% is what? It is the growth rate. That means per year the population is growing at a rate of 5%. Now we have come to know this growth rate, that is R equal to 5%. Now substitute this in the doubling time formula, that is 70 divided by R, that is 70 divided by 5, that is 14 years. Now another logic over here. 14 years we know. So the population will double every 14 years. Now what is the next thing? It will double in how many, like two times another more doubling is required. Is
Yes,
asking
ma'am.
40 million. So now it is 10 million. So 10 million will become another,
20.
okay. So four times it requires actually to double. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So then when you do this way, then you will get 28 years. Yes, or you add this 28 years to your 2010, then it will become 2038. Are you all clear with the concept how to solve this?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
So just try to apply your logic, because questions can be asked in a different way. Nowadays, things are like asking this way only. Like little bit modifications, then problem solving, you need to understand and you need to solve this. Yes? Fine. Now, one more question. Let us try to solve this. Age pyramid of India is. what is the age pyramid of India? So we already know that India's population pyramid or the age pyramid, the child population is very high, right? The pediatric population. So the base of the pyramid is
Great.
broad.
Broad.
Base is broad. B it is. BROAD broad. And the apex is what? It is narrow.
Narrow.
So this concept we need to know. Overall, it looks like a pyramid, and it is little bit asymmetric also. This point also you need to remember. Now let us look at the option. So broad at the base, narrow at the apex. It's a very straightforward question. So I feel this is the right answer. Now let us look at the other options also. Broad from base, fine, it is correct. To apex, broad from base to apex. So something it is an irrelevant thing. So he is totally saying that it is completely broad only. So that is not the situation here. So it is wrong option. Then broad at apex and narrow at base. No. This is usually seen in developed countries. Then all of the above, it is also wrong answer. So what should be the right option for this? Broad at the base and narrow at the apex. Now look at these two graphs. So again for you the MCQ can be asked in this. Some graph will be given and you may be asked to like identify what is this particular graph says about. Anyone? This is the graph. It looks like a shape of a J, right? It is a
Yes, ma'am.
J-shaped graph. And this is what sigmoid or S-shaped graph. Yes. So what does it means that it is indicates a exponential growth. Exponential growth means what? The population is increasing. See, the graph is nowhere coming down actually. So once the multiplication is happening, it is happening. Like if the bacteria are there, they're like a binary fission, and all. So they keep on replicating and they keep on multiplying, and their population will keep on increasing. So, like exponential growth means what? It is a type of the growth where the growth keeps on increasing. So, because the things are very much favorable for it. Yes, that is the reason why the growth will keep on increasing. And when we try to plot it, this particular growth over the time, then you get a J-shaped curve. So then it is called as exponential growth. Then what is logistic growth? So logistic growth means what? It is a type of the growth pattern where you can see that initially the growth will be slow. It will be slow. Then what happens? Then later the growth will be fast. The growth will be fast. Then after some time the growth will again become slow. So when will this happen? So it will happen in such a situation where the health services are bad or not good or in a developing nation. So what will happen? So due to poor health situations, initially the growth will be little bit less. Then as a country gets into developing phase or when the health facilities will become better and better, then lot of death rates will be reduced and good what health system of the country, it will lead to the what better productivity of the population, so that there will be population increase. Then again what will happen? This increase will lead to what? Depletion of the natural resources. That is what yesterday we have discussed about carrying capacity. Carrying capacity means what? It is the amount of the natural resources. So when the population increases to such an extent that all the nature's resources are getting depleted, so when that stage is reached, then again population will again fall off. So this particular pattern of population growth, we call it as what? Logistic growth. So if there is a logistic growth, it will assume a sigmoid or S-shaped curve. If it is an exponential growth, it will assume which curve, students? J-shaped curve. Yes, do you all agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, India will fall under which category? Exponential or logistic? What is our present situation? How we are moving on?
Ma'am, exponential.
Excellent. Who said?
Exponential.
Very good answer. Akash, Smriti, Jayashree. So at present
Ma'am,
we are
exponentially.
running into this exponential phase. So I don't know like at what stage it will touch this carrying capacity. The moment it touches here, so then again the population will decrease because there won't be any resources available for the people to survive. So that the problem we should not get into. So we need to cut down this exponential curve. Now let us see one more question. The carrying capacity of any given population is determined by its. If you understand the concept of carrying capacity means put it in your mind this resources. How many natural resources are available? Accordingly, the humans can happily survive without any stress in their life. So, what is carrying capacity? Just solve this question. Is it related to population growth rate? No.
No,
Is it
ma'am.
related to birth rate? No.
No.
Is it related to death rate? No. But is it related to limiting resources?
Yes, ma'am.
Do
Yes.
you all agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, carrying capacity means how many resources are present. So, all these resources, how many are present, then it indicates what? Carrying capacity. When all these resources get depleted, then we call it as what? Loss of carrying capacity. Now, these are the general statistics of the India. So, in this table, which I want you to focus is infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, and crude birth rate, crude death rate. Just focus on these points. So, in 2011 census, the crude birth rate is 20.97, and that means what? Out of every 1,000 people, nearly 20 people are born. Out of 1,000 people, 20 new people are born. Death rate means what? Out of every 1,000 people, nearly 7 people are dying in our country as per 2011 census. And infant mortality rate is 47. That is, out of every 1,000 children who are within 1 year of age, nearly 47 children are being killed. Otherwise, earlier, how much it was? It was more than 121, very high number. Now it has been reduced actually, and WHO has appreciated also. And infant mortality rate is one of the best indicator to assess the healthcare system of any country. Then maternal mortality rate means what? How many mothers are dying per live birth in that given year. So nearly two mothers are being killed per every live birth. So this statistics numbers you have to remember. Now yesterday again I told you everything in detail about this year of Great Divide, because twice the MCQ has been asked related to year of Great Divide. That means what? Before 1921 in India, there was fluctuating population. That means what? There was less amount of people. The population of India was low. Then after 1921, there was a steep increase in the population of India. So that's why this year 1921 is called as year of Great Divide. So division was happened. So after this, good things has happened and better facilities, then population has been kept on increasing. Twice the question has been asked. Now let us see the measures of fertility. So things is that what is the fertility status of our India? How to check? So there are certain 10 to 12 parameters are there as per the PARC textbook. So nearly 12 parameters are there based on which we can assess the fertility status of the country. So one of the very crude ways, crude birth rate. So again you have to remember this because question has been asked. Which one of the following is a fertility indicator? So they'll give so many options: crude death rate, crude birth rate, so infant mortality rate. So many options will be there. So in that, crude birth rate is one of the options. So what is the formula of birth rate? That is number of live births during the year divided by the mid-year population. So this mid-year population, since we are using this, that's why we call it as what? Crude. That means what? In the mid-year population means there is no age, so 0 to 100 years, or no sex consideration here. No age or no sex consideration. Overall, we are checking out of this mid-year population how many live births are happening. And remember this, what do you mean by live births? It even includes the stillbirths. So it even includes the stillbirths. So that is why we call it as crude birth rate. And the multiplier is what? It is 1,000. So since it is crude, we want to little bit refine it. So what we have done, and remember students, in every formula of this fertility rate, the numerator is same. Look at this number of live births. So everywhere the numerator is same only, that is number of live births. Only the denominator will keep on changing here. So now in general fertility rate, what is happening? Number of live births in an area, but the denominator they have made it more specific. That is per female who is in her reproductive age, that is 15 to 44 years, and the multiplier is always same only 1000. So now furthermore we have refined this, and general fertility rate is number of live births divided by the females in their reproductive age of 15 to 44 years. Next, one more thing we have to remember that females who are between 15 to 44 years, not necessarily that all of them are married females, right? Do you think that in India, without marriage, if a female gives birth to a baby, it is agreed in India? No. So now what the demographers they have thought is, let us furthermore refine it, making that only married people should be taken into consideration in denominator. So in general marital fertility rate, they are seeing that how many children are born to the married female of reproductive age, that is 15 to 49 years, and the multiplier is 1000. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
then we will go to further more refined form of this fertility rate, that is age specific fertility rate. So now one more thing we have to remember that the fertility rate, if you see the woman who is between 15 to 20 years, she has the higher chances to produce a child, more number of children, and who is between 21 to 25, then again her child producing capacity may reduce. Yes, she can produce more. And as she comes and nears to her menopause age, then what will happen? Her child producing capacity will further reduce. Do you all agree with this biological phenomenon?
Yes, ma'am.
So now what they have said that instead of taking 15 to 45 years as a whole, we let us calculate this fertility rate in terms of particular age group only. So now what they have seen that number of live births in the given age group, that is that age group maybe 15 to 20 years, maybe one age group, and another thing is that number of live births per women who are between the age group of 21 to 25 years, so on you need to calculate individually per age group. So that becomes what age specific fertility rate. Now this age specific fertility rate is very much sharp indicator. We can say that it is a very sensitive and very sharp. Do you all agree with this,
Yes, ma'am.
students? Because not every female in her reproductive age group she has equal chances of reproducing a child. No, if the woman has entered into her 40s or 30s, then her chances of reproducing a child will reduce. But if she is in her 20s and 25s, within this age range, then her chances of reproducing a child will be very much high. So this biological concept if you know, then this age specific fertility rate will be very sensitive indicator for fertility. Yes. Then again, one more thing they have said that furthermore, let us refine and let us calculate this age specific fertility rate in terms of marital status. Now, let us look out of this particular age group only among the married people. So, not necessary that every woman who is in between 20 to 25 or 30 to 35 they are married women. Not necessarily, they may not get married also. They may become widow also. So, such women they may not reproduce also. So, now let us take into consideration who are in that particular age, and that too they should be married women. So only those married female we need to check their live birth. So that will form the age specific marital fertility ratio, sorry, rate. So these are the general concepts you have to understand, that's it. But very important thing which from a MCQ or your entrance examination point is total fertility rate. So what is total fertility rate, students,
And
Roshan, Akash,
yes, ma'am.
now you people only should answer
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
What is total fertility rate? Prabhakar, Smriti, Jayashree.
Ma'am, number of live
To
children,
born,
Yeah,
number of
number of,
children that would be born to a woman.
yeah.
Uh, if she
entire
goes to a reproductive
children.
year with the
See, it
same,
is total number of, it's a general thing. It is a total number of children. Total
Yes,
number
ma'am.
of children born
Male
to a
and female.
woman during her reproductive age group, that is within her 15 to 45 years age span, how many children are born to this lady, that will contribute or it will be called as total fertility rate. Now how do you calculate this total fertility rate? So now it is calculated by adding up the age specific fertility rate. So each age, in the earlier only we have calculated, understood, right? For 15 to 20 years, like how many live births are there In that denominator will be how many women are there in this 15 to 20 age group. Number of women in that particular age group, multiplier is 1000. So like that, each age group you calculate how many live births are there. So now each age group you add up, that is it is sum of the age specific fertility rate, that is from 15 to 19 years till 45 to 49 years, that age specific fertility rate you need to add up. Understood the concept here?
Yes, ma'am.
So 15 to 20 years, what is the fertility rate? Plus then 21 to 25 years, what is the fertility rate? And so on till 45 years, you need to find out the fertility rate, and divide denominator will be 1000. Okay, and the multiplier will be 5. What is the meaning of this multiplier 5? So it means that there are 5 age groups like this: 15 to 20, 21 to 25, like this there are 5 sets of female age groups. So 5 into this sum of age specific fertility rate divided by 1000, it will give you the total fertility rate. So this concept you have to understand. And this also tells us the complete family size. It will tell us about what? Complete family
Family.
size. Very important MCQ question, because it will say that for this female, overall how many children are there? Total children. So it indicates that the complete family size. It is indirectly reflecting the family size of that particular family. So what is the family size? In the beginning itself, I told you what is the meaning of family size. It is not the total number of
Number of
people,
children.
number of children. So that's what we say, that total fertility rate, it directly tells about the complete family size. Now gross reproduction rate. So gross reproduction rate means what? Earlier we have seen that this female, overall how many children she has. Now gross reproduction rate,
Only girl.
GRR, it says that this female will give birth to how many female child? How many female child? So like a number of girls that are born to a woman in her reproductive age, assuming no mortality. This is very very important point. So here they are assuming that if there is one mother, and this woman will give birth to how many girl babies, irrespective of their death, because there may be some girl children who may be born and they may be dead after some period of time. So all that mortality parameter we are not taking into consideration. As a demographer, I will go to the house, I will ask the lady, how many female babies do you have? If that lady says that I have got two girl child, yes, that is done for me. But I won't ask her, are those two girl children are alive at this time? No, that point I am not taking into consideration. Got the point here?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is a total number of girls that are born to a woman during her reproductive age, assuming no mortality. And it is given by the formula, same thing. The multiplier is 5, that means there are 5 age groups, and it is also sum of the age specific fertility rates. And here we are checking only the female child, and denominator is 1000. Now, one formula you need to remember here for gross reproduction rate, sometimes the question may be given for you. Like in a population, the total fertility rate, it is maybe they say that 2.2. Then find out the gross reproduction rate. What is the gross reproduction rate? If the question is asked that total fertility rate is 2.2, then what is gross reproduction rate? Then we have a formula over here, so that can be used over here. So gross reproduction rate equal to, what is the
Half of
total fertility rate? 2.2 into 0.49. What is this 0.49, students? How did we get this number? Akash, Prabhakar, Jayashree, Smriti, and
ma'am.
others. Roshan.
Uh,
Yeah, tell
in
Roshan.
total live children, we assume that 50% male and
Ah,
50%.
very good. You are actually correct only. It is nothing but male is to, that is sex ratio. So this 49, what you said is exactly correct. It indicates that how many females are there per thousand males. So that sex ratio, if you assume, then the demographers has found that After calculating the sex ratio, we have got this particular number 0.49. So that is also we call it as what femininity ratio or the sex ratio itself. So if you don't know this particular thing, and if the question it has given that there are 900 females out of 1,000 males, so that means what you apply the thing. So 900 divided by 1,000, then you will get one particular number over here. So you add on that number, and if there is a total fertility ratio number is also given, you substitute that value, then you will get this gross reproduction rate. So just you have to remember this formulas. These are all called as what empirical demographic formulas. Empirical means there is no mathematical way to prove these formulas. It is like based on our experience we have found out this particular formula, right? That's why they are called as empirical formulas or empirical demographic formulas. Then some other demographers formulas which you have to remember, that if at all the question says that find out the birth rate, and the question gives that total fertility rate is like this, so then remember that birth rate can be calculated using this particular formula, TFR into 8 plus 1. Then the gross fertility rate, general fertility rate equal to birth rate into 5, and gross reproduction rate is half of total fertility rate. So these formulas you have to remember, there is no other option for you. When the situation comes, you need to apply them correctly. Now just same thing, just whatever we had discussed here. So the current population of India is 1.29 million, and Uttar Pradesh is the most populous state, followed by Maharashtra. These facts you have to remember. Crude birth rate of India, it is 20, that is 20 per thousand, and death rate is 7 per thousand, and growth rate is this is 1.6 actually. Just remember this, and it is assumed that our population will double within 30 years. And this the recent fact, just try to look into this recent fact. It was given by the Sample Registration System of India, that is SRS. So what is the sample registration system, students?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
many questions are asked related to this SRS. So it is a dual record system. Dual record system. Now,
Button
what is
registration.
happening is that in the sample registration system, we record the birth rates, we record the death rates, we record the infant mortality rate, we record the maternal mortality rate, and we even record the population growth rate. So, these are all the things which we record in this sample registration system. So, it was started somewhere in the year 1960, and during 1964 it was started as a pilot uh, basis. Pilot means what? In very few places of India, this particular what data collection system, that is we are trying to collect how many births, how many deaths happened in that area. And so it was started as a pilot base. Then later the government said that now let us make it as a full established thing. So now it is a completely, we are covering the entire India. The thing is that we are not recording each and every part of in India. Only few sample selected regions are taken. In India, there are total of 640 districts as per 2011 census. Now, in these 640 districts, maybe few districts are taken, and these districts, these population counting people, they will go and they'll check for birth and death rate. Now, for example, today this fellow has gone to one house and he has asked about how many people are born and how many people are died in that house. Now, this is today. Then after 6 months, then what happened? A supervisor will come. A supervisor, he will come, he will retrospectively, he'll go back to this same house, and again he will cross verify the data that was collected by this first person. That is a person who has collected it initially. He will just cross check. Again he will ask how many birth, how many death and all. So he will verify any discrepancy in the data, it will be corrected that time. That's why we call it as what? Dual. Dual means what? Twice the checking will be done. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and it is very important. And the current values of this yearly, this particular report will be published. Currently, it is said that in India, the birth rate is highest in Bihar. That means what? In the state of Bihar, many children are being produced. and lowest it is in Andaman Nicobar. These statistics you have to remember, no other option. And death rate. In India, a lot of deaths are happening in the state of Chhattisgarh, whereas in Delhi it is very low because of good healthcare facilities. And there may be many other reasons also. And infant mortality rate, it is highest in the state of Madhya Pradesh and lowest in the state of Nagaland. And sex ratio is as per the present thing, it is good in Chhattisgarh and lowest it is in Haryana. So these facts you have to remember it. Yes. Now, as per the sample registration system 2008 report, so same thing has been reported here. So highest birth rate it is in Bihar and birth rate it is lowest in Andaman Nicobar Islands. And Chhattisgarh, lot of deaths, whereas in Delhi the death rate is very much low. And infant mortality rate highest in Madhya Pradesh and minimum it is in Nagaland. Now let us see one more MCQ question here. What is exponential growth? So exponential growth means what? What did I tell you in the beginning itself? It is a rapid growth of the population. If it grows, it keeps on growing, growing, growing. So and it will assume what type of curve, students? A J-shaped
J-shape.
curve. This you have to remember because already question has been asked on this exponential growth. So exponential growth means what? It is a rapid growth in population that leads to an imbalance in birth and death rate. That means
Yes,
what?
ma'am.
More and more of births will be there and death rate will be less as compared to that of the birth rate. And it will assume a J-shaped curve. This point you have to remember. Yes. So now what is the right answer over here related to
First,
exponential
sir.
growth?
First, sir.
First one only. Yes. Next. Prabhakar, Smriti and others, Jayashree, Akarsh, Roshan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you all getting what I'm telling?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Everything
ma'am.
is
Yes, ma'am.
clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now let us see the third question. In calculating dependency ratio, the numerator is expressed as numerator. So dependency means what? How many non-earning people they are dependent on this earning people. So this is what is the dependency ratio. Yes. So it is like who are 0 to 14 years and who are above 65
Above
years.
60.
These people we are call them as what?
No,
Dependent
not.
people. And earning people are whom? Who are between the age group of 15 to 64 years. They are the earning people. This concept we should be knowing. Then you can answer this. So what is the
4.
numerator? Which one, students?
4.
4.
4, ma'am.
Excellent answer. Huh? Yes,
Four.
Akash. 4, right? Everyone agree with this? So 15 to 65 years, it is the dependent population. Next, contraction of demographic gap starts. Yesterday, anyway, we discussed everything about this demographic stages. So that is in the
Early
stage
stage 3.
stage
Early.
three, early stage three. So that means what? It is the first time when the birth rate is decreasing and
Decrease.
death rate has already decreased. And
Decrease.
our India is in this contraction stage or in this stage three. So that means what? When we try to plot a line diagram, then what will happen? So this is the stage one. Then the death rate also will decrease. And then what will happen? Again, it will come to stationary stage. Then again, it will so happen that birth rate will further decrease and death rate will remain to a certain static level only. So this is crude birth rate. This is crude death rate. So the birth rate, the stage three, it will start decreasing. So that point we call it as what? Stage of contraction. Next, denominator of crude birth rate is. Now, if you know what is the formula of crude,
Media
yes, very good.
population.
Just a point to remember anywhere if the denominator is mid-year population, then remember that it is something a useless one. I mean, crude it is. So, crude means always the denominator will be mid-year population. So it's a straightforward question. The denominator for crude birth rate is mid-year population. Next, true about total fertility rate, that is TFR. That means what? Total number of children a woman will have during her reproductive age. This is a concept. And it indicates what? It indicates complete
Completed family size.
family size. That means how many children she has. Now let us look at the options over here. First one, number of female child born to a mother. Do you think
No.
this total fertility rate speaks about female
No.
or male child? No. So this
Male and
option is
female.
wrong. Yeah, both it will include. Then what about complete family size? Yeah, this is correct actually, because total fertility rate it directly reflects the family size itself. So this is right. Then third option is average number of boys born to a woman. No, here it doesn't talk about boy child or girl child. It is not the answer for us. Then number of live births per thousand married women. Now, do you think is it talking anything about marital status? We are least bothered about the married or unmarried woman. This woman, during her reproductive age group, how many children she has? This is only
Yes.
our concern. So this fourth option is also wrong. So which is the right one, students? It is second one.
Yes, ma'am.
That is complete family size.
Completed.
Okay. Now the next question is, if total fertility rate in a population is 6. So he is saying that total fertility rate in a population is 6. Then this one, gross reproduction rate is how much? This is what he is asking. Now,
3.
gross reproduction rate means what? How many female child? How many female children will be born? So already I explained you yesterday that it is a nature's decision. XX chromosome, XY chromosome, when these two mate, then what will happen? Chances of having girl baby and chances of having boy baby is 50-50. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what we call it as biological sex ratio.
Yes.
So if you understand this concept, then for this total TFR, exactly the gross reproductive rate means what? How many female child are present for that woman? This is gross reproductive rate. So what is the formula? Gross reproductive rate is always
Half
half
of
of total fertility rate. Now total fertility rate is how much? 6.
6.
So now half means what? 6 divided by 2. 3. So for this total fertility rate, this female will be having at least 3 children as a female child and rest 3 will be boy children or the male babies. So what is the answer over here? 3. Are you all clear with the concept here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, demographers are of the view that demographic goal of net reproduction rate 1 can be achieved only if the couple protection rate, that is CPR, exceeds. What do you mean by net reproduction rate? What is the meaning of net reproduction rate? Students?
Ma'am, total number of girl children remaining alive till their own reproduction born to women in
Yeah.
our.
Yes, very good. So, for example, this is a woman. Now she will give birth to her daughter. She will give birth to whom? Her daughter. Now, this daughter should survive till her reproductive age. She should survive till her reproductive age and she should be able to reproduce one more daughter. She should be able to give birth to a newborn. So this is a concept of what? It is a concept of net reproduction rate. Here we are taking mortality into consideration. So what we are saying, like this woman, how many live daughters she have, and these live daughter in her reproductive age, she should be alive and she should be able to give birth to one more baby. So that is actually the concept of what? Net reproduction rate. That means what? One woman, she is replacing herself by another woman. For example, if I am there tomorrow, if I die also, my identity should be continued by whom? It should be continued by my daughter. If I don't have a daughter, that means what? There is something loss has happened, because this daughter is responsible for the continuation of the further progeny. So that is the importance of this net reproduction rate. So that is woman, she should be able to give birth to the daughter, but in case if this daughter dies before her reproductive age, then there won't be further replacement, right? she can't give birth to a new baby. So that is a concept of net reproduction rate. So net reproduction rate, it indicates that like how many live female babies per woman, and these live female babies, they should enter the reproductive age and they should be able to give birth to a newborn. This is the actual concept of net reproduction rate. And the government has said that the net reproduction rate should be 1. 1 means what? One woman, and she should be replaced by one more woman. That is one more daughter. One mother should have always one daughter. If that family has one daughter, that means what? Replacement has taken place. Now, to have this one net reproduction rate, what should be the couple protection rate? That means how many couple are using contraceptive. So that
Yes, ma'am.
should be at least 60%. It should be at least 60%. So all these things I'll discuss in the family planning. So if at all like nearly 60% of the couple, if they use the family planning methods, different contraceptive methods, then only we can achieve this net reproduction rate of 1. Otherwise, no, we cannot achieve it. So at present, India, what is the couple protection rate? 56%. That
Yes,
means among the eligible couples, if there are 100 eligible couples, only 56% are using contraception, and rest it is a question mark. So they are contributing to what? They are contributing to population explosion. So because of them, we are not able to have this N net reproduction rate of 1. So when we try to get this 56% to 60%, that time we will be able to get this NRR of 1. So it is a straightforward logical question. It is 60%.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, as per 2011 census, sex ratio is. I think there is a little bit
943.
doubt for you students. 940 or 943, which is the correct answer?
43.
943. Akash,
943.
Prabhakar, Smriti, Jayashree.
943, ma'am.
943
43,
is
ma'am.
correct. Because when we look into the census report, it is a population report. So there it is directly given as 943. Don't go and tick for this 940. It is a wrong option. What is the difference between census and sample registration system? How these two are different?
The sample registration dual principle.
It is a dual thing, and very important difference is in census each and every individual is taken into consideration. That
Consider.
means we will collect the information from each and every person, we won't miss anybody. Whereas in sample registration system, we won't take information from all the population of India. Only few people out of 100, only 10 people or 3 people, we will go randomly and we will collect the information from them. Whereas in census, if there are 100 people in the given area, we will go and collect information from all the 100 people, full to full pakka it is. Whereas in sample registration system, not everyone is included, only few samples. That is why we call it a sample. Only few people are chosen, and from those few people we collect the information and we generalize it. And very important is it is conducted every 6 months.
Months.
Every 6 months. And dual means what? Twice the recording will be done. So first one person will go and he will collect the information on birth, death and other events. Then after some time, the supervisor will go and he will collect the information. Whereas census, it is conducted only once every 10 years.
10 years.
That every decade. So these things you need to remember this. And common point among census and sample registration is in both census and sample, we collect the information on population decadal growth or annual growth of the population. So this information will be collected in both the things. Yes. Whereas in census, we collect the population density, male sex ratio. These are the different things we collect in census. Whereas in sample registration, we are more concerned about the death rate, birth rate, infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, and other parameters of the health. Under 5 mortality rate. So all this will be collected under this sample registration system. Next. Census population count is in reference to.
First
Now,
March.
students,
First March.
2021, just next year only, again census will be conducted. So it will be starting from February to March. During this time, the entire count of the Indian population will be done. So usually, as of 1st March, what is the population is there? so that it will depict of that particular year. So answer is 1st of March. So what are the population parameter values it gives? No, it always reflects as per the 1st of March. Next, general fertility rate, GFR. So the question is, what do you mean by GFR? Yeah. So what is general fertility rate?
Ma'am, number of live births divided
Hmm.
by total median population of women 15 to 49 years.
Yes, very good. So it is total number of live births divided by the females in their reproductive age, that is 15 to 45 years. Okay, and the multiplier is 1000. So this is a formula of general fertility rate. So it is like live births. Now let us look at this different options that are given. It is the number of live births per 1000 women in the reproductive age group in a given year. Do you agree with this first one, students?
Yes, ma'am.
So I feel this is somewhat correct over here. Then second option is it better measures fertility than the crude birth rate. Yeah, it is a better measure of fertility. The
Yes, ma'am.
crude birth rate means their denominator is somewhat vague it is. So it is compared to crude birth rate, it is better. So what I feel that even B is also fine with me. And next thing is that the major weakness is not all the women in the denominator, that is 15 to 45 years, are exposed to the risk of childbirth. Do you all agree with this? What is the
Yes, ma'am.
guarantee that all the women between 15 to 45 years all are married? Do you think a 15 years girl in this present era will be married? No.
No,
And
ma'am.
do you think this 15-year-old girl will give birth to a baby? How many will be there as such? No. So the rate or chance of exposure of this denominator is very less. So it is one of the weakness. So it is also correct. Now D is saying that all of the above. Now which one should I choose here? I feel
D.
that all the options are correct. So all of the above is the right option. Next, which of the following includes mortality rate in it? So mortality rate. So if you remember, total fertility rate means what? Number of children. This you have to remember. So it is
NRR.
not into consideration how many live children or how many dead children. No, all those points it is not asking. How many children do you have? Then general fertility rate, it is talking
No,
only
ma'am.
about females.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, it is only talking about the number of live births per woman. So it is also not talking anything about the mortality trends. Then what about this net reproductive rate?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
if you know the concept here, how many female child, and in this female child, how many are live and how many are dead. So it is taking into consideration of what? Mortality. So this is one of the very important thing. Then this one, gross reproductive rate. So here it is talking about how many female children are there per woman in her reproductive age. But it is not taking into consideration the mortality, how many live or dead. So which is the right option over here?
NRR.
Huh?
NRR, ma'am.
NRR. Very good. So if you know the concepts here, then it will be very easy to mark over here. So NRR is rate. That's it. Next. Total fertility rate of India is 2.2. The crude birth rate would be. So now he is asking what is the crude birth rate, and the value given is total fertility rate is 2.2. Only this much we know. Now how to find out this crude birth rate? Prabhakar, Smriti, Akash,
Ma'am,
question.
8 into total
CFR
fertility rate
into 8.
plus 1.
Yeah, Jayashree. Yeah. So crude birth rate is 8 into TFR plus 1. This is the formula. Do you all agree with this formula?
Yes, ma'am.
Students, do you all agree with this formula?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
18.6.
yeah, crude birth rate equal to 8 into TFR is how much?
2.2.
2.2 plus 1. So now it is how much? 17.6
17.6.
plus 1. So it will be 18.6. Now birth rate is always indicated per thousand population. Now, what is the answer over here? Now, just look at the number, whether 18.6 is given or no. Definitely, it is the first option. 18.6 deaths per thousand population. So, this is the answer over here. Did you all get the thing? So, that's why I told you remember the formulas over here. So, when the situation arises, you need to correctly apply them. Next. A community has a total population of how much? 10,000. Children ranging 0 to 6 years are 2,000. Literate persons among more than 7 years older 4,000. What is the effective literacy rate? Now he is asking what is the effective literacy rate. So what is the formula for effective literacy rate? Who are literate above 7 years of age divided by
Total
total number
population.
population who are above 7 years into 100 because it is always expressed in terms of percentage. Now let
50%.
us see. Now the question says that literate persons above 7 years are how many? 4,000.
Yes, ma'am.
So anyway, I got the numerator now. Numerator is how much students? 4,000. Then let me find out the denominator. Denominator is
8,000.
I need to apply here. Total is 10,000. And he is saying children who are between 0 to 6 years. So that is they are below 7 years. So they are 2,000. So
9.
now I need to subtract this 2,000 from this 10,000 because I need to include denominator who are above 7,000 7 years only. So now my denominator value it will be obtained as 8,000. Do you all agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
So population above 7 years is how much here? 8,000.
8,000.
Now let me substitute these values for this formula. So effective literacy rate equal to 4,000 divided by 8,000 into 100. Now just cancel these things. 4 twos are 8, 2 fives are 10. Yes,
50%.
how much it will be?
50%.
How much it will be, students? It will be 50%. Yes. So do you all agree with this? Now we'll go to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
second thing. State used as a yardstick of health in India is. So in NEET 2015, this question has been asked. So some of the GK point questions and even part textbook also it is given. But we need to update ourselves reading the newspaper also. In 2018 also, before 18 also, it was given that it is Kerala. In Kerala, the primary health centers and overall the healthcare facilities is too good. The health development index it says that Kerala is too good, then followed by Punjab, then followed by Tamil Nadu. So they are saying that Kerala has got the best healthcare facilities. It is ranked number 1. Rank number 2 is who? Punjab, then followed by third place is by the Tamil Nadu, then next followed by the Gujarat, and the worst one is which one, students? Uttar Pradesh. It is Uttar Pradesh. So that's why they say that we can compare the healthcare system of the country India by taking Kerala into consideration. Yes, so what is the answer over here? It is Kerala. Now let us look at this table here just to say why we want to take Kerala as a consideration. So as per 2011 health indicators, it has been observed that in Kerala birth rate is 14.7, whereas in India overall birth rate is 22.5. So it is definitely lesser than the general India birth rate, right? Do you all agree with this,
Yes, ma'am.
students? So if you see all other parameters, everything compared to Indian general parameter, Kerala has got a always a lesser value itself. Next, WHO defines adolescent age between. So as per World Health Organization, who is an adolescent? And why this adolescent is very important for us students? So WHO says that anybody who is between 10 to 19 years, they are said to be in the age of
And
adolescence. Why? Because there will be lot of hormonal changes, physical, mental, and social changes will happen in this, and even emotional changes also will happen in this particular 10 to 19 years age group. And these people are at higher risk of what, students? Drug abuse, or to become drug addicts, and they are at higher risk of developing sexually transmitted diseases like HIV, hepatitis, and many others. And they are also at the risk of committing suicide. They are also at the risk of committing suicide, and they are also at the risk of dropping from the school or the professionals. That is, they drop from the education because they are totally emotionally disturbed, or somewhere they are insecure or not satisfied. So these all we call it as what? Adolescent age group problems. And their mental health will be lot of disturbed. So it is like they'll be under depression, so they may tend to commit the suicides, or they may go ahead with the homicide also. So these are a drug addiction, these are all the common problems with the adolescent age group. So that's why this age group will become very important for us. Now students, what is the percentage of the geriatric population in India? If you remember the points which I told you in the yesterday's class, what is the geriatric population in India? Students, it is 8%. You have to remember this. And what is the percentage of population of infants? That is, who are below 1 year, who are less than 1 year. So what is the percentage of infants in India? It is 3%. So children, they are 3%, and older people, they are 8%. So these numbers you have to remember. And adolescents, they contribute nearly 22%. They contribute to how much, students? 22% of the India's population. Now, just an information for you, who are called as what? Infants means who are less than 1 year of age, infants, and toddlers. Again, once the MCQ has been asked for you, who are called as toddlers, who are between 1 to 3 years. Students, are you all catching what I'm telling?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
These are the facts. There is no change over here. And preschool child means who are between 3 to 6 years, and puberty means 10 to 12 years for this is for girls, and again 12 to 14 years for boys. Otherwise, it is 10 to 12 years. Adolescent, which is a very dangerous age group. So where all these drastic changes will happen, and they are very risk of the most of the health hazards. So it is 10 to 19 years. Remember this. And reproductive age group, I think now you won't forget this. It is always 15 to 44 years, because n number of times we have been stressing on this. And geriatric is for above 60%. India, they are 8%. Infants, they are 3%. And these people, they are 22%. Remember these numbers. Next, sample registration system, that is SRS, is
Every
done
6 months.
every 6 months. Do you all agree with this? Because
Yes,
our
ma'am.
census is done every 10 years, whereas sample registration system, it is done twice a year, that is every 6 months. So it is a straightforward question. So don't break your head. Now, births in India must be registered as per the civil registration system of India. So it says that in India, birth, death, or even stillbirths, all this, even
21
the
days.
marriage, all these things should be registered within 21 days. Within 21 days. For example, if the birth takes place in the hospital, who is responsible for this birth to be reported to the this particular birth officer? Who has to report? The hospital in charge, that is a medical officer. Whoever is in charge of the hospital, so that particular person, if any delivery happens and baby is born, so the hospital will be in charge to report the birth to this particular registration system, and it should be registered within 21 days. If not, the late fine will be added to that particular individual. Okay. So these are the questions related to this demographic topic, and related to sample registration system and census also. I think everything is covered in this. Any doubts,
Yes, ma'am.
students? Akash, Prabhakar, Smriti, Roshan, Jayashree, Karim.
14 days.
No, Akash. Birth in India must be
21
registered
days.
within 21 days.
21
This
days.
is Pakka. See, tomorrow even you will open your hospital, Akash, remember. And if you open your hospital, if a delivery happens in your hospital, make sure that it should be registered within 21 days. Within 21 days, that's it. If you register under 14 days, no issues. So no headache will be there, but the cutoff line is 21 days. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts, students? So just I want you to concentrate, focus on how to calculate the growth rate, how to calculate the population doubling time, and how to calculate the crude birth rate using TFR. So that is 8 into TFR
Plus
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 one.
1.
1. So formulas you need to remember. So then gross reproduction rate equal to half of TFR. So these formulas you need to remember over here. So when you know all this, you can definitely solve the questions. Yes? If the birth
Yes,
rate
ma'am.
or death rate is given in percentage, and if they ask you to calculate the growth rate, then what is the formula? Crude birth rate minus crude death rate, if it is in percentage. But if the birth rate and death rate are given per thousand, then you need to calculate this by adding the denominator as 10. So these points you need to remember. And rest are all facts. So what is the present growth rate of India?
4.
1.64%.
Yes, ma'am.
And literacy rate formula you have to remember. Dependency rate you have to remember. And what is demographic dividend? Students, what is demographic dividend? Akash, Smriti, Prabhakar, Roshan, Jayashree, what is demographic dividend? That is out of total reproductive age population, how many are earning? That constitutes the demographic dividend. Dividend means how much income the people who are in the reproductive age. So all of us who are in this meeting, we all are under 15 to 45 years, right? So all of us will fall under within this category. Now among all of us, how many of us are earning? So that will come under demographic dividend. And only if you see what is the percentage of reproductive age population, then it will form the demographic window. Just remember these concepts. Yes?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubts, students?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So shall I stop it here?
Yes, ma'am.
So I think tomorrow sir will take the class on respiratory system, and day after tomorrow Dr. Hosangadi will take, and in between some other classes also will be continued, ENT and OBG classes. Okay. See you all tomorrow then. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.